Hello, hello, everyone. Hello.
What's up?
Oh, thank you for joining us on this episode of Today in Black America. My name is Tanisha Mercer, and
I am JG of IMU Lounge.
uh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're going to be talking. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. For those of you who are watching the replay, hello, hello, wherever you are in the world.
hmm
We're talking about what's going on today in Black America. It's Monday, right? It's President's Day, right? It's a
hmm
federal holiday. So, of course, we're talking about um, the current president of the U.S.
Okay.
What is he? He's 40. He's 47 now, right?
45 and 47.
45 and 47. And really, the news just keeps getting interesting. Over the weekend, there was listen, it's a lot of changes. Over the weekend, there was the Education Department's Office of Civil Rights sent out a memo prohibiting all race-based programming and spending at colleges. Now, this includes hiring, promotion, compensation. Here's the big one: financial aid and scholarships, services, admin support, discipline, housing, and quote, all aspects of student, academic, and campus life. So I don't know about y'all. Like, if you have, listen, there will be no more scholarships. There will be no more recognition for any of that if you are Black person, Latino, whatever.
They voted for this.
And this is unprecedented. This has never happened before.
Now, let's not just leave it to Black, Latino, Asians. They get
It's
scholarships as well for being Asian.
exactly
Um,
everybody.
and let's go to the white people of poor circumstances. They get scholarships as well. If you're from rural America, just the same as a black kid would get a scholarship, or a minority from the inner city would get a scholarship for being from the inner city. Um, there's scholarships that helps veterans families. There's I don't know if it still exists, but there's one for the Vietnam War era
Yeah.
veterans. Their kids get scholarships. Well, their grandkids at this point, or family member you know, of said person will get scholarship. So they voted for this.
They voted for it, but I really do think that they did not think it would affect them. They thought it would only affect us.
Now, thank you for saying that. And something was heavy in my head this morning, and I had to look it up. Diversity, Webster's definition of diversity. And Webster's definition of diversity, it makes sense, okay? Now, when people think about diversity, they all need, let's include black people, let's include minorities. But give me a second. If I freeze you, I'll just give me a second. Let me see if I could just, okay, there we go. All right, so diversity is the condition of having or being composed of different elements, right? Now, where they go into particular is the inclusion of people of different races. That's when you look in race, culture, group, or organization. And then part two of the dictionary says an instance of being composed of different elements or qualities, an instance of being diverse. Elements could be minerals, it could be um, food groups, it could be anything. That is diverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to people, what makes organizations successful is diversity. People who comes from different walks of life, that enables that organization to see things in ways that a non-diverse organization can't see. I.e., when a company is full of just racist pigs, they're only going to see things one way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to try to have this iron grip on success when they just only wading above water. A company that is diverse and understands their core audience or their individualized audience that makes up their core audience is because they have people from different walks of life. Country boy Joe, country girl Tammy, city boy James, city boy Jane, urban boy Malik or Michael or Jake Juan or whatever her name, urban girl Melissa, urban girl Lakeisha, urban girl Teta Makwika. I'm just giving,
Hmm.
you get what I'm saying? Or
Right, right.
Chafu or whatever, whatever Indian name or Chinese name that you could, Jajin. The point I'm trying to make is these companies know how to tap into their audience, and their audience will respond to them in a very nice way. So this white supremacy movement is sickening. To be honest with you, it's past the disease phase. It is like this is.
But it's just like we talked about last week. We had an episode where we talked about the Target boycott, right?
Hmm?
And so now you've got like black folks, we spend like 80 some million, almost $90 million a month in Target. And that
Okay,
number,
okay,
that
Target. Okay, okay. Sorry,
Target,
go ahead. Yeah.
that number, and we know Target has ended their DEI practices. They did officially
Mhm.
announce an apology recently, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of their black owned brands that I love, like the Lip Bar. I'm wearing the Lip Bar right now. They are a Detroit owned makeup company. Y'all make sure y'all support them. Go on their website and buy their products, right?
Mhm.
But they left these black creators kind of hanging out to dry. And at the same time, I've seen video of where the black owned products, the black owned brands they're being discounted severely. They're, marked down, whatever. You got
Okay.
Tabitha Brown that's there, a huge presence, right? You've
Okay.
got a lot of other small independent folks who are there. So it's like speaking we're speaking with our dollars. And we're telling these folks that it's not, these companies were all on the BLM bandwagon, right?
Oh, yes.
5 years
Yes.
ago. They were
Yes.
like, George Floyd, we support diverse voices, we support diverse customers, we support diverse suppliers. And now there is little to no support. Now there are still some who are supporting, right? You've got Costco. Costco has famously said they are keeping their DEI. But most of these companies are not like Costco.
Yes.
They're retreating.
Well, one of the things is like this. Sorry, I have my other business. Um, One of the things that black people should look at. All right, so boycotting targets is the ideal move right now, right?
Hmm.
Now, the companies that is invested into targets, I'm talking about the companies, the black-owned brands, like the lipstick that you're wearing, and you said they're
Hmm.
severely discounted. Since black people love discount so much, how about we just go into Target, um, target those brands? If they are so discounted so much, target those brands only
Yeah,
until they're sold out, a stock, right?
right.
That's it.
That's what some have talked about, that is the goal. If you are going to go to Target, only buy the black owned brands that are there.
Until they're out of
Only.
stock. If you're black, black-owned
Yeah,
brands, and go somewhere else for everything else.
right. Buy the black owned brand and then leave. Don't get no dog
Nothing else.
food, no toilet paper,
Nothing else.
none of that. Right?
Yes.
Get what you came in there to get, and then you're out the
It's
door.
only to be because those companies are still going to receive their kickbacks from the sales. So we still want to see them level up. And then if they're in other stores that aren't with this DEI suppression movement, then this would allow them to continue on. And if we have to buy from them directly, then buy from them directly, right?
That is the key. A lot of these brands are in multiple stores. So you've got Tabitha Brown. Her products are in like Target, um, Wal. Is she in Walmart? No, she's not in Walmart. But like the lip bar, they're in Target, Walmart, CVS, right? And as well
Hmm.
as their own particular website and their own retail store. So it's like go to the brick and mortar store if you can. If you cannot, buy directly on their website. Make sure you support them, right? They
Hmm.
actually get to keep a lot more of the profit if you buy at their store because there are a lot of expenses they have to pay. All the signage you
Correct.
see just to get in the store. If their products are severely marked down, there's a chargeback to them for that, right?
Hmm.
So it's a lot of things that are involved.
Well,
But yeah,
I'd rather them come out on the gray versus in the red
exactly. That's
because it's like the chargebacks. If they're going to hit them for the chargebacks, they didn't ask for it to be discounted,
no,
and they should. And whatever, and even if they make out even, use that money to sue Target.
it's one of those things. They're in a catch 22 because a lot of these are annual contracts. They have certain performance benchmarks. If they don't meet those benchmarks, they are out of there.
And
So
that's fine. And that's fine.
yeah.
That's not on the brand itself. If the brand itself got discounted, let's just say that's their only avenue outside of eBay and Amazon or Walmart Marketplace, right?
Hmm.
Let's just say that this brand is they're starting up. All their startup money or seed money went into getting into Target and a store in particular, and this store breached their contract by discounting because they said, well, it's underperforming. You you can I mean you can sit here and say you cannot da 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 unless there was a clause in there that says, hey, if it's not performing at this satisfactory level, then we will take the steps towards XYZ and with notification because every I would believe that in that contract there should be some kind of notification of this is what's going to happen because of this lapse or this underperformance as agreed upon in our contract. Now, let's get past all the schematics on the other end of it. What I really want to say is this: if I don't have the money to market my brand inside your store on a national level, it's going to be hard for that brand to be recognized for sale. And everybody don't understand internet marketing or internet advertisement. There's companies that don't understand it or don't know how to get into it. Okay. I myself, I understand it to a point, but when I try to run an ad or try to boost anything with IMU on YouTube, it gets pushed back. And I'm sitting here like I'm putting in the proper paperwork and everything, but it gets pushed back. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Right.
So if they don't have that kind of, um, I don't want to say ingenuity because nothing ingenuity about it. If they don't have that kind of technical knowledge or that kind of know-how to, if you can't even afford to pay a marketing advertisement agency, how you going to pay to afford your item in Target?
It's a lot of these business owners have put a lot on the line. And that's I guess that's my point is that they got to have the money up before to get in the store. If you when you go in these stores and you see these display cases, they're paying for that. There's a cost associated, right?
Okay,
A
yes.
percentage of all of their sales are being taken off. So we look at it sometimes, and granted, we love supporting Black products, right? And Black
Hmm.
owned businesses. But it's like it's knowing that there is a cost associated with it. When you see them in these major retail stores,
Hmm.
there's blood, sweat, and tears. We're both business owners. We know, how this works, right?
Yes,
And so it's a cost. It's a cost.
it's a cost
So
to be the boss.
it's another reason why it's really important that we talk the talk and walk the walk, right?
Hmm.
So if we say we care about Black owned businesses, then we may have to go a few extra steps out of our way to support them.
This let me okay, so when I stepped away from entertainment or even doing business regarding anything, and when I came back, I stepped away because I only want to deal with Black people. I,
Okay.
I want to see my people rise. And when I came back in, I came back with a philosophy of if you come up, I'll come up.
Right.
Because if I push your brand or whatever, it costs it's pennies on the dollars. What happened to me was the delayed payment system caused by Facebook.
Okay.
It will cost me. I can reach, and I found out how to reach hundreds of thousands of people with less than $20.
Right.
It's because the market has to show. You have to know where there's unexplored territory for Black people that they don't understand. If we're the global icons, people tan their skins to get at least close to our color, right?
Mm-hmm.
The most melanated Asians that are close to our color is people in Thailand, Vietnam, places like that, where the sun, da da da. They would love to see your product because they could relate more because they're darker.
Okay.
That makes sense?
That makes sense.
If you can reach them, they will be more entitled to buy your items. There's some Filipinos who are darker. There's darker Chinese people. There actually are Black Chinese people. There's actually Black Japanese people who can now relate to your product. There are Samoans who are outside of the Fijians, or I want to say the what they call the Aborigines.
Mm-hmm.
The Samoans are our closest Black relative on the
Right.
Pacifics, right?
Right.
They would love because some of them have kinky hair.
True. But the question comes, how do we get those products to those people? You to get your products into Fiji, Samoa, even within the continental US, Hawaii.
It's
It's difficult.
called
It's
marketing.
difficult. No, I understand marketing, but the physical product, the
The physical
distribution,
product,
do
you
we
set
have
up,
the distribution networks?
you can if you set up the right channels. There's somebody out there that's looking for this stuff that's willing to import it. You just have to market it in there. And I know I make it sound easy, but somebody gonna come on the comments and probably say, "Well, you have to do this and this and this and this and this." Why do you have to go through 30 people when you can advertise to the masses and one person of this mind will come to you and say, "Hey, I am willing to buy X amount of items from you. I can't afford da da da, but I will buy 10 cases from you." Right?
Right.
That's a start.
It is.
And if those 10 cases sell within an ample amount of time, that person is going to come back and say, "I need 20 cases." And if they're slower to sell, then he'll realize, okay, I need 15 cases this time around. And then if the 15 cases sell out, because these people are now being introduced to your product,
Right.
you've done created your market.
It's my hope that throughout all of this that we are able to kind of you can have that whole integration versus segregation discussion and conversation,
Hmm.
and what was better and that what we lost during integration. But it's my hope that going through all of this, one of the upsides will be us really getting back to some of the things that served us maybe 60, 50, 70 years ago, right? Where we only had each other. Our commerce was limited to each other.
Hmm.
And we were able to, we had to depend on each other. That's all that we had. And we were able to make it in terms of as a community. I hope that we can kind of get back to that. Because I know I people say all the
It's
time, Black folks don't
integrations.
support don't support businesses, but I know that we do. You see these products,
Hmm.
you see these products in Target, you see these products even on Instagram, even all these different venues. They're Black people buying these products.
Hmm.
These are Black owned brands. Now, some of them, of course, you they sell to anybody, but we are the primary customer. We're the primary audience.
Correct. But although we're the primary audience, you got too many people that's non-black that's controlling the industry. Like when Chris Rock did his Black Hair documentary, right? Or Good
Hmm.
Hair documentary. One of the most revealing things that he showed me was Koreans and Chinese cornered the distribution market, and that upset me because it was like, why are you in our lane? And,
They have a market, they have a mafia type hold on it, on that market.
correct. And for me, it's like Bonner Brothers. Why are you selling it to them if they have that kind of hold?
Well, the thing is that Bronner Brothers is one of the good examples of an independent network, right? In terms
Hmm.
of they're still a company that's around. They've been around for a very long time. The problem is at the retail level, because what ends up happening, because they have this mafia type like gangster hold on the market, when you have black folks who open beauty supply stores,
Hmm.
their manufacturers will charge them more, and that's because of their influence. There
Oh,
have been threats,
mhm.
the products are automatically going to be a lot more, and that's by threats at the
So
manufacturer level.
who's the manufacturer? Is it the Bonner Brothers or is it somebody else manufacturing the formula?
No, what ends up usually happening, Bronner Brothers is just one black owned company, right?
Hmm.
And they're a good example because they've been in the game a long time. The challenge becomes if you or I say, okay, we're going to open a beauty supply store.
Hmm.
I have talked to countless people who are in business. I used to be a hair care blogger, natural hair care blogger a long time ago, natural hair blogger. The
Hmm.
problem is that when we say we're going to open up these, whether it's online or in person, we we already know these beauty supply stores, we can't compete on price. But at the manufacturer level,
Hmm.
the price set for us is so much more. Also, people get threatened. It is, when I tell you it's wild. It is indeed wild. It will make your head spin. But there are some, as with all a lot of times with us doing business, there are some outside forces that come into play.
Okay.
So Bronner Brothers is just, they have a retail product, right?
Hmm.
They have a successful hair show. I think they still have the hair show in Atlanta, but every summer, I think. But they're a black owned brand that's probably like 80, 70, 80, 90 years old. And they're just a tiny portion of the market.
What I'm trying to see is who manufactures their.
Bronner Brothers manufactures their own products.
Okay, so if they manufacture their own product, why can't Miss LMA go and get her own? I'm not talking about singing. I'm just making up names.
Right,
Why can't Miss Fannie Mae or whatever, whatever? Okay, let's go old school. That's too old school. So
right.
why can't Shaniqua reach out to Bonner Brothers and get a direct shipment from Bonner Brothers? Because that would make more sense to me than this third party.
So you're saying Shaniqua to get a direct shipment from Bronner Brothers? Well, she probably sells Bronner Brothers as well as other products.
Okay. Now, this hair care store, what we're referring to, what I want
Mhm.
to refer to, Shaniqua says she wants to open this hair care product store, everything, right? And she goes to Bonner Brothers. What's another black-owned company that does hair care product?
You can say Tabitha Brown. She's got Donna's hair care recipe.
Tabitha Brown.
You've got Miss Jessie's. The challenge becomes a lot of the products you think African Pride is black owned. It's not. So it's a lot of things.
Then stop labeling it as black-owned because if it's not black-owned, don't fool with it.
No,
If
I
it's
understand.
only if it's black-owned.
It's a marketing. It's trickery, because you see African Pride, you think it's black owned. It's not. You see some other products you think are black owned, or maybe they once were black owned, but now they're not. You see
Is Madam
popular.
C.J. Walker brand of product still?
I don't believe so. I
And
would
that's a
have to
damn
check
shame.
that.
If
I
that
don't.
if,
I don't believe they are.
that's a damn. My thing is, I can't. I'm only 44 years old, so I don't know when that industry, when her company folded or whatever. If it's, I would hope to God this woman who built her empire, family has. We, if you watch the docu series or the
Yeah.
minute series, you've realized that she didn't have any legitimate ancestors. after her daughter. So
Yeah,
you
she's
know they
got
got the one adopted child, but it's kind of like okay. And hopefully she did right by the family. But those who are attached to that lineage is not Madam C.J. Walker's direct family. No disrespect to y'all.
Alayla Bund. I think her name is Alayla Bundles. I think she's a descendant of hers. I think she's like a niece, several times over, perhaps. The challenge becomes when it comes to Black-owned businesses is that generationally, is that wealth, is that business being transferred down? That's the challenge in our communities. So what ends up happening is the father starts the business, and the children do not run it or do not take it over. There is little to no succession plan.
Correct.
So that's the challenge. Madam C.J. Walker built it, but it's almost like when she's gone, it ends and dies with her, and generationally, that's money that
It's
none
gone.
of her family should have to work.
If they
Right?
stayed on top of it, look at the Ford family, right? I
Yeah,
don't think they haven't had a regular day job in their life, probably.
they don't. There's no need to. There's
Mm-mm,
no need for them to have a regular day job. And I'm not saying she's being compared to Henry Ford,
mm-hmm.
but still, the
She
point
once
is,
was though.
oh, she was of her
That's how
era.
much money she made. She lived next to a Rockefeller.
Oh, she lived very nicely for sure.
Yes. So we can't say that she was like her family was basically there.
They were. I'm just saying how it is so much more difficult for us to have a plan in place for the next generation to
Because
run that company.
we need to plan. The thing is, as black people, when it comes to something like this mafia hold da 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 by these outside entities inside black hair products, everything has a breaking point. And black people need to stop going to these stores that has owners that don't look like them. Go to the stores only that have owners that look like you. Stop asking for discounts. If they have a sale that week, they have a sale that week. Stop stealing from them. If you don't have the money to go in there and pay for it, do not go in there and pay steal. That hurts their business. Now, the other part of it is the manufacturers. They need I understand you got to get it out there. I understand that part. Find a different way. Let that dollar go into a black hand three times over. Stop just giving it to the first person that's who you know that's going to get it out. Yeah, they're going to get it out there because they figured black people spend a lot of money. So stop allowing them to abuse us because you are the first line of that daggone abuse. You get what I'm saying? So at some point you gotta learn, hey, this needs to go to a black owner first. After that, let the others come in. But stop
Yeah,
allowing them to control the industry that's ours.
it's one of those things of where you're in terms of this is a black owned hair care products. And no other culture, when you look at Jewish culture, for example, with their wigs, they spend thousands on wigs. If
Mm-hmm.
you are familiar with any of the Orthodox Jewish communities in New York or anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is part religious tradition where their hair is covered, and those women spend that. When I say 5, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 on wigs, they spend it. And guess what? Most of those people who are making those wigs look like them. They
Exactly.
aren't buying wigs from non-Jewish people for the most part. Now there is one black woman. She makes the wigs.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's perhaps married to a Jewish man, but for the most part, they buy wigs. They buy their hair care products in their community. When you look at other ethnicities or whatever,
Same
Dominican,
thing.
Mexicans, whatever, they're buying products within you know nationalities, ethnicities, all the mixes, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
buying their stuff from each other. So it is just when it comes to our products, we used to the Jerry curl is a black owned product. Was a
Let
black
your
owned
soul
that
glow.
that guy died like in the last year or so who
Yes.
created it, right?
Yes.
These products began selling to mainstream white owned companies beginning in the 80s. And it has been a steady decline since then. But we know in the mid 2000s you had a lot of Black women to create these natural hair care product lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Small companies that grew, like Shea Moisture, a bunch of other brands. And the challenge is, and Miel, right? The
Mm-hmm.
challenge is they sold to mainstream companies. So
I'm
that's
listening.
the hard part. That's
I
the
was
hard
trying
part.
to I was trying to look up this the Jerry Curl creator so we can
Yeah.
give him his flowers.
Yeah.
Um,
Listen, ruined pillowcases, couch pillows, mattresses, you know, little activator. Put a little activator on it.
the funniest thing, they have Ice Cube with his Jerry Curl in
Yeah.
1987.
Listen, we were moisturized back then. The hair was
It
moisturized.
was moisturized. I ain't gonna lie. As a kid, I wanted the Jerry curl, but my hair don't curl up. It curls, but it doesn't it curled, but it just didn't do that with the Jerry curl.
It would. I promise you, if you put those perm rods and the
Hmm.
activator on it, it would have curled.
So Jerry Redding, Robert William Redding, is the creator of the Jerry curl, and he is a white man.
There's another guy. There's a Black guy because he just died.
Hmm.
Like look for that one, because this guy just died not long ago.
No, this.
Um,
Let's see.
you had Stay Soft Fro,
Hmm.
right? And let me see. I do see you saying that Jerry Redding, the Irish American,
Uh-huh.
but there was somebody. Oh, Comer Cottrell, and he died. Oh my goodness, he died a long time ago in 2014.
His name is what? Homer
Uh,
Cottrell.
Comer Cottrell. He's creators of. It says he's a creator of the People's Jerry Curl. I
See?
think the challenge is you got a lot of people who probably tried to insert their name behind it.
Correct.
So, but the guy I'm looking at
So he brought
is
the
Black.
Jerry curl. So Jerry Redding is considered the godfather. Comer Cottrell is the guy that is considered the media. Basically, he brought it
Black people.
to black people. He brought it to the masses. But the
Right.
inventor of the style is Jerry Redding.
Okay.
So even with that, white people won, black people nothing on that one, but black people won for the popularity of it. White people nothing. Okay, so it's 1-1 on that. All right. So when I look at that, then that's okay. That's two American people that found a way to bring a style to the media masses, or they created a process and it got popularized. That's
Right.
when the integration of our society works. That's what makes America more beautiful, when we're able to come together and say, hey, I like this style, this person like that style, but why shouldn't a white person wear the style? Because they wore Jerry curls. And why shouldn't this black man wear this style? Because we wore Jerry curls. It was seen in movie Colors. It was seen in Eddie Murphy. He made fun of it. It's just so glow. I actually got to meet Eric LaSalle in person. But so I'm just saying that in that situation, now it's a 2-on-2 where it's like black and whites should be able to profit off of this hair care product.
Because it's saying here he took $600 and a borrowed typewriter, and he took that and started this empire. He eventually owned a portion of a Major League Baseball team.
Who's
It
that?
was the first
Jerry.
Black person.
Okay.
Took the money and flipped it, right?
Hmm.
And the products were called Proline.
Hmm.
And it's showing Black ingenuity, right? We
Hmm.
can take a product that a white person can make, and we're like, no, we're gonna take this and flip it.
Correct.
And
And that's the same thing that Madam C.J. Walker did, because
right,
remember, the hair products at the time was not for black people.
right.
So she kind of, with that lady that she was up against, and that is a real story. That lady was really considered, she was really the godmother of the black hairline product, but Madam CJ Walker perfected what her imperfections was. So
Exactly.
let's not get it twisted. It's somebody had to be first somewhere. But at the end of the day, it was like the capability. What I'm saying is ultimately is this: black people has to start being in control of their own destiny when it comes to business. The same way the Chinese got into Jamaica and trying to control the whole factory of things. Yes, it happens. It's happened. You got and Jamaicans is like, how did this happen? Number one, you allowed them into your country.
The Chinese
It's
are everywhere.
out. They're
They're everywhere.
everywhere.
Africa,
But
they're
it's a
everywhere.
government program that allows them into the country.
Okay.
Number two, you did not allow them to pay business taxes, so a lot of them pass on the taxes or they pass on the business to their families. Um, and number three, you stop buying and caring for your own kind, and that goes to America too. When you stop caring for your own kind, this is the end result of what happens.
Let's shift it a little bit. Let me shift it a little bit if you don't
Let's
mind.
please, let's do.
So, talking about black ingenuity, talking about black men, black women. Um, One of the things that kind of popped up last week, which we kind of forgot to talk about, was Wendy Williams, TV host Wendy Williams. There's a documentary produced by TMZ, right? And it talks about her being in this conservatorship,
Mm-hmm.
right? And here is one of the most powerful women on TV. And this is a perfect example. And this is why I am, for the most part, I always have more empathy for us because they're always external factors. And this is a woman, no matter what we may think of her, she
Mm-hmm.
built her own lane. She went from radio to TV. Wendy was one of the best to ever do gossip TV, celebrity. You know how you doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Right. She was the best to do it.
Mm-hmm.
She was an icon. No matter what people think about her, she was an icon. And here it is now. She is in a financial conservatorship. She is basically in prison. She cannot even talk to her relatives. Come to find out, according to news reports and this documentary, her son spent a lot of her money. This is the reason why Wells Fargo put her under conservatorship, is believed. But now this documentary showed her on the phone behind this in this huge building. And it's like the woman looks like she's in prison. She has dementia, and she's got a lot of health problems. But it's like, okay, if what happened to her can be done to her, it can be done to any of us. And granted, her son, her grandchildren, and her children's children's children should not ever have to worry about anything, but
Her
she
son,
cannot spend a dime of her own money.
her son blew the money.
Her son blew the money.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I
That he
have to
didn't
say,
work hard for.
this is true. And allegedly, Wells Fargo, there is some questioning about her conservatorship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's all these things that we are. That's why it's like it's not as simple as what it sounds, because if 10 years ago, you would have never thought this would happen.
No, no.
You would have never thought it would happen.
Um, People forget that celebrities are people too.
They are.
They're people too. So she probably did the best she could, providing and granted, giving her son a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
When she's working, he probably had an allowance, um, which to me is the number one indicator that he ain't gonna be shit.
Well, supposedly he spent like $4,000 on DoorDash in a month. Like, yeah. Wendy was recently spotted at his graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly looked very good, even mentally. Um, There are some alcoholism, problems, some challenges, some dementia is what she's been diagnosed with,
Hmm.
right? Perhaps due to her alcohol addiction. Okay. So it's a lot of things there.
Um, it's sad.
It is sad.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Wendy Williams, to be honest with you. I'm not with all that gossip stuff, but
Okay.
it sold, and it made her career.
It did. It did.
Um, Wendy Williams as a person, I feel for, because to go through what she's going through now, it's quite like um, it's sad to see
It's a lot. It's a lot.
because you're not yourself no more.
You're not. And you're seeing her crying, saying in this documentary, and I haven't watched all of it and I need to. But
Hmm.
the clip that I saw, she's in this window crying. She is being, she claims, punished for speaking out to the media, and she is essentially imprisoned.
That's crazy.
Essentially in prison.
That's
It's
sad.
crazy.
That is
But
sad.
I got another topic I want to talk to you about, and then we're
Talk
gonna
to
move
me.
on up.
Can
Uh,
hold on before you go to that one. Hold that
okay.
one. John Amos. Once again, this is another gentleman I
Yep.
got to meet in high school. Him and Eric LaSalle. It was crazy. Okay, so
You met John Amos.
D. John Amos from Good
Really?
Times and Eric LaSalle. You hear? Yo, when I said that, I met both of them.
Okay.
Um, he passed away last year,
Yep.
and nobody caught wind of this till 3 months after. His own family didn't know that he passed away, and the person that was over him was his son.
Yes. There was a conflict between the son and the daughter,
Hmm.
and the daughter claims that the son kept
Him
him
away.
away. It's a whole mess.
It's sad because, and the reason why Wendy Williams' situation, she's being kept away from the media, even if she's not in her right mind all the time. But the parts of her that's still there is still sensible enough to not say, "Hey, I'm in prison.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong." Right?
It's-
John Amos was an older man
right.
who did start relying on the care of others, and ironically, the last interview I saw of him was on Wendy Williams.
Really.
Yeah,
And that's the crazy part, because these are our icons, right?
correct. Correct.
And another example, his children, and I don't know how much money he made during his career. So I can't quite say his generation should be set. But you would at least think that
They be okay.
perhaps he would be okay. Now we do know that Norman Lear stole Good Times
From a
from
black man.
the black man.
Hmm.
We do know that. So it's kind of like, I don't know. You see these people and you don't know how much money they actually made. I know Norman Lear wasn't kicking out a lot of money to him and Esther Roll, right?
Exactly.
So it's kind of hard for me to say, but he is still our, that's
Yeah,
James Evans.
that's James Evans. And yes, I did get to meet James Evans. He came to our high school. Those who went to Weaver High School can confirm what I'm saying. Those who were in my drama class can definitely confirm what I am saying. We
Yeah.
did get to meet Mr. John Amos. I got to speak to him very briefly. He was a tough-minded Jim Brown type of guy, in his speech and his mannerism backstage. He
Hmm.
just told I asked him at that time I was very interested in being an actor, and he said just work hard. You know
Wow.
what deterred me is all the other craziness. I was like, I'm good on that shit, man.
I'm good.
I'm good with that shit.
Holly.
Holly weird, Holly, yeah. Let's So what was the next topic? What was that you want
The
to go
next
into?
topic, and then we're gonna wrap it up because I got to get out here in these Parisian streets.
She got to get out in the streets, folks.
Gotta
I
get
got her in these streets. These streets, shouting.
right, exactly. Okay, I'm gonna read this from Reddit, right?
Hmm.
And this is their popular thing. It's called Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole?
Yeah.
Mm.
Am I the asshole? So, am I the asshole for wanting to divorce my husband because he added pee to my food. Okay. Okay, so I'm reading directly from this. Okay, so I don't know if I'm looking at it or what, losing it or what, but I, 32 female, been married to my husband, 36 male, for 4 years. And I don't know who the F I married anymore. So he's always had this weird fetish he told me about where he wanted to pee on my face during sex, during, happy time.
And of course, yeah.
And I was like, no, just no. Never been into that. He asked a few times. I always shut it down. He never pushed it. So I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. A few months ago, I started noticing my food tasting weird. Not like the bad, not like bad, like rotten, but just off. Like my overnight oats, my yogurt bowls, sometimes my brewed coffee. I thought maybe the fridge was messing up, but everything else was fine. I threw out so much thinking it was spoiled, but then it kept happening. But here's the thing, I never got sick. No stomach aches, no nothing. So I started thinking maybe he was like poisoning me slowly, or I don't know, trying to drug me or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't even making me sick, so it made no sense. I was just stressed. And like, why would he drug me? He's always loving, so it wasn't making sense. Told my friend about it, and she was like, you need to put a camera on your fridge just in case, because it's just him and I living alone. Only other person coming over is our mom sometimes. So I did put the camera up because I was losing my brain. Got a tiny one from Amazon, set it up, and waited. This man, my husband, peeing in my overnight oats and my brewed coffee, took the lid off, peed, put the lid back, shook it, put it back in the fridge like nothing happened. I thought I was going to throw up right there. I lost it. I went full psycho. I broke his PS5, his TV, threw his clothes outside in the snow, messed up his shoes, everything. It's kind of hard for me on this part because it's like, oh, I don't want to advocate violence, but I do understand, okay? He came home and I just screamed at him. He started crying, begging, saying it was his fetish and he thought it was a way to do it without me knowing, like, WTF. And I'm going to just summarize it real quick. So then she asks, I can't look at him the same. Am I the asshole for wanting to divorce, or should I try to forgive him? Because I really just want to vomit forever.
Divorce him.
I say call the cops and send the evidence in. You got the tape. That's a biohazard.
Correct. Divorce him. Um. Okay. R. Kelly Jr. That's exactly who he is.
That's crazy.
Only thing that's very disgusting.
It's this. It is.
That's like people saying women putting their period in spaghetti to kind of like put a
Exactly.
what is it?
Like a
Spell on a
spell.
man. That whole scenario. You see my facial expressions. It's very disturbing.
Disgusting.
It's beyond disgusting.
Disgusting.
It's oh gosh, appalling.
My
I feel like vomiting. I was probably vomiting in my damn throat myself. Like, yo, that is nasty. It's one thing to have the golden shower fetish. Back, I guess because Backpage closed down, he can't do it no more.
and that's with two consenting partners, right?
That's two consenting partners.
We ain't trying. I'm not trying to kink shame nobody, but that's a consent. You agree with that with somebody, but
put that on Pornhub under fetishes.
Yeah,
and somebody will pay you to come and do that to them. Okay,
exactly.
because that is, oh my gosh. Yeah, call the police.
Call the law.
File whatever, attempted murder, whatever. Have
But
Divorce him,
do
divorce
all you
him,
do
block
every
his mama. Don't have his mama. Don't call me. I don't care if he misses. Just do all do everything. Get some money out of him. You know what I'm saying? Out of if he got money, make him pay your alamo. All that shit.
all of that. I want to
All
see
that.
jail. I got kicked off of Facebook for one day for my response because I said somebody.
What was your response?
My response was
And
that
before you say it, find a different word because we
okay,
do post this on said
exactly.
website.
My response was that a toe tag would be too easy, and that I feel like she should go to the police. I feel like she should give over the evidence, the tape, right, the
Mhm.
recording, and I feel like she should pay a Pookie or a Kyle or whoever add your name in prison to urinate on him every day. That was mine.
Big
That was,
Bubba and Skillet.
exactly in cell block B. In cell block B.
No, Bubba, no, I'm bilingual. It's a
Listen,
difference.
I don't care what. I don't care. Find somebody and pay them. Pay them into Hostess Twinkies,
Yes.
whatever you got, Skittles, whatever you got to do. Pay them. That was my response. They got kicked me. They got me banned on Facebook. But I mean, yeah. We probably should have had a trigger warning on that before I said all that because
Oof.
it is pretty disgusting.
It is very disgusting. It's very disturbing
It's disturbing.
to have that kind of fetish and to languish in it. To this is your wife for crying out loud. Somebody that you say you're willing to spend the rest of your life with. Why can't you have a regular fetish like you constantly want threesomes or some shit? Like you want to piss on your wife, the possible mother of your children. Like seriously, that's
Well, you want to hide it. You want to do it like in her food.
and
She
you do it in her
oh, she
food.
told you no, and you want to put this in her food.
Well, shit, man.
You
Uh,
want her food.
but at some point, she needs to realize, hold on, these overnight oats don't taste the way they tasted last year.
Well, that's what she was
My
saying.
yogurts don't taste
It
the way they
off.
taste. At some point, you need to stop leaving those overnight oats in your fridge.
No, what she thought about it. She thought the fridge was broken because she was like, what's going on? Why does my food taste differently?
I had a broken fridge, and that mother sucker couldn't hold nothing cold for freaking 2 days.
Well, all she knew was the other food was okay, but her stuff, something was wrong with it. Because what would you think? You would think, well, was something wrong with the oatmeal? What's going on with this Dannon yogurt? Like,
Hmm.
did I get a bad batch? That's what you would think. That is what I would think. I would be like, maybe Kroger sold me some bad stuff.
You know what peace smell like.
But when you mix it up into like a milk product or your coffee, you probably are like, why does my coffee taste off? Think about it. How evil do you have to be to not just evil, but just weird?
Hmm.
You're peeing in her coffee. Everything you know she's eating, you are urinating in.
If his daddy around, he needs to give him an adult ass whooping. Go over there with a belt and give him an ass whooping. And if his mama still got the strength in her hands, go to the jail and give his ass an ass whooping because
I,
that's exactly what he needs.
I
An
feel like
ass whooping. He didn't
he's
get enough of
like
those ass whoopings as a kid.
he's a hidden serial killer. This is why you gotta let people know what he did in jail. You gotta let them know.
Man, he the type would have chlamydia and piss in your damn cup.
Yeah, he does not care at all.
No, no,
Man,
no.
on
So
that note, we gotta go.
47. Hold on. You ain't gonna cheat them out of 7 minutes there, Miss Mercer.
Oh
47 went to the racetrack and had the Secret Service drive him around the racetrack in the Beast.
wow.
While at the Daytona 500, while there are states who got hit by the storm severely, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee, and parts of North Carolina again, that whole Appalachian Mountain area got hit real bad. And this man is spending taxpayer dollars to do his own Kim Jong Un impersonation of propaganda.
Mm.
Then his cronies goes to Germany, goes to this World Summit thing, and speaks and tells the Europeans what's in it for us to come help you out. Then he reaches out, JD Vance and the other jackass, the Fox News host, reaches out to the alt-right wing of Germany. These are people that was kicked out of the UK because it was so extreme. The political party was kicked out of the UK, and they're running for parliament in Germany. And they reach out to them and say, "Hey, we're an ally. U.S. is your ally." These people are so extreme; they're on the level of Nazis.
Wow.
This
That's
is
insane.
who America voted for.
This is who they voted for.
This is who they voted for.
This is who.
Remember what I said to you last week? You said, "Hey, what you think is going to happen?" I said, "What? World War III."
Yeah.
That would be the worst outcome. The most saving grace that we can have, and I'm going to say this to the Republicans who want to do something but too afraid, is the American democracy that fragile to you that you consider a lifetime payment of your salary, because you still get it when you get kids, when you lose elections, you still get the money.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, and healthcare for the rest of your life, right? And the distinguished recognition of congressmen, whatever, because they still gonna call you that when you're out of office. Is our democracy and freedom worth a World War III where our allies are looking at us as the enemy? Is our democracy and freedom worth the price of a mission ticket in history where Donald Trump is looked at as a dictator versus the situation that we're in? Is our democracy worth anything to you? Because even if a congressperson wins election, the Democratic congressperson wins an election, they still see the people who vote against them as their constituents. Why can't you see the same thing? This is me saying, this is Tanisha, I'm talking to them, okay?
Right.
The American people deserve better. And instead of you cowering like a coward, do the right thing.
Do the right
At
thing.
some point, this is not going to be funny anymore. Because what's going to happen before our enemies attack us? We're going to have a second civil war. And let's put that within 5 years' time. And let's just say we lose. The ones who want to see the country in the right way. Let's just say we lose. Now you spread your whole racist propaganda to the world, right? Who do you think they're going to attack? Because they don't want to see it the same way. All I'm saying to you, grow a backbone. Leave Dr. Martin Luther King name out your freaking mouth. You do the right thing and stop being a coward. That's it.
Okay. On that note, we will see you next episode. Make sure you check out my co-host JG at IMU Lounge. Don't forget Tanisha_Mercer on YouTube. Check out my Paris Life Move Abroad channel. We will see you all next time. Thank you for joining.
Peace.